Ever since Riot took out the trash and removed Fracture from Valorant's map pool, Breach hasn't been able to find a new home. Unable to land another job since then, breaking everything that he's touched. Life was looking bleak for our red-haired friend. Breach only knows one thing: how to fight. And now that Riot's kicked him out of Haven, his pick rate has been in the dumps. But Sentinels took a chance and picked him up for their Sunset comp. Now with a near undefeated record on this map, trust me when I say this, guys, Breach is back. This bionic brute has finally found his place back in the Valorant meta. He absolutely tears apart this map, allowing his team to have all the map control they want, create explosive plays that nobody can stop, and he's just too good. With 19 assists this match, Zelsis put on a Breach masterclass, proving to the world just why Sunset is Breach's paradise. I don't know about you guys, but we've been seeing so many different agents on so many different maps. I mean, just look at this Icebox comp that I'm breaking down in a future video. But how do teams know what agents to play when? Well, by using apps like Blitz.gg, they gain access to advanced statistics that tell them what works. And you can too! With Blitz.gg, you can track your stats, performance, improve your own gameplay, and more. As soon as you hop into Agent Select, you gain access to your teammate statistics so that you can build your team comp around their strengths and weaknesses. Then, you see your opponent's stats as well. So do some scouting and use this free info to your advantage. And in-game, there's a dynamic stats overlay that gives you real-time feedback telling you where you need to improve. Now, once the game's over, there's a post-match insights overlay showcasing every area of your performance. This includes combat score, damage, and headshot percentage in comparison to other players in your match. They also support League, TFT, Apex, Fortnite, CS2, and even Palworld. So hurry up! Blitz is free, helps you improve, and they support me. And, you know, I kind of support them. Link in the description. Download it now.
Previously on Teets TV, we witnessed Cloud9 and Foot go at it during the experimental stage of Sunset's meta. In that match, there were 8 unique agents, each bringing their own unique playstyle to the battlefield. But there was one man, one cyborg who stood apart from the rest, proving that this map was fit for his robotic hands.
And that's Breach. With the sheer amount of narrow lanes on this map, I believe that we're going to see a lot of him through the next VCT season. Whether you're fighting A main, elbow, tiles, market, B main, this dude's kit just fits like a glove wherever you slot him in. And this is why so many teams ran Breach on Fracture as well. All of this just works. And then combine all this firepower with Raze, who I think is the best duelist in the game, and you have one explosive win condition, which is exactly what we see being set up in Team Liquid's pistol strat. But they need to be careful. Sentinels are prepared to repel a fast hit at every lane. On A, Raze and Fade are primed with a C's Paint Shells combo in hand, while Omen and Breach are in positions to fill both gaps on B if the offense makes their way onto site. And it can trick the attackers further. Cypher's trapwires are positioned to help Breach hold this lane, securing back site, while Omen can play off this one to keep market. And Cypher's even helping his A players, I think. I mean, we don't have a replay system, but I think John QT is using this spy cam to spot A to trigger this util combo. So from the looks of the setup, Sentinels are expecting Liquid to hit fast. And it starts with Nats' cam in this window, which spots TenZ, who's trying to break it. Yempy stuns to punish, Kaiko flies in to capitalize, but Zelsis saves TenZ's skin. Team Liquid were using this common Cypher cam as bait and wanted Sentinels to shoot it. By doing so, this would put TenZ in a prime position to get fault lined and punished. But the nature of this anchor setup combats what the offense are trying to do, giving Sentinels the player advantage. Now with the realization that a B hit is coming, both defenders fall back, using 2 flashes to slow the offense down. And once market secured, TenZ deploys a dark cover, which splits front sight in half, allowing the defense to leak back out onto site. Mystic tries to cancel it out by chaining a smoke of his own and climbing inside. But this isn't doing too much. Team Liquid need more space, or they'll get collapsed on. 3 of them try to dual spawn, but can't find anything. They also don't feel safe pushing through this spooky site smoke. But once it fades, Mystic realizes that this is his time to even the advantage or find some space.
Stacked up now, Celsius looking for that fault line, but they're pushing him out of the market, and Mystic has gone through. He can't get the right click on the head.
Liquid don't have market, back sight, or the player advantage. So their last-ditch effort is to retreat to main and play for spam. And with the way Spike is planted, this can work. But spamming with pistols?
Going for the flank, no time for that. They have to dodge the flashpoint. There's the aftershock and the paint shows just to keep them busy because the defuse is going down. They finally get it through the spam, but it's already been done to half, and it should be able to finish all the way to the end. Sentinels win a fast round 1.
So, was this a bad plan? Well, I don't like playing for spam when you have pistols. They don't have a lot of ammo and do way less damage compared to rifles. But Enzo planted in a good enough spot where the pistols could get the job done. But in reality, a play like this is truly up to chance. When the defenders smoke the spike, you don't know whether or not you actually took down the diffuser unless you get in there. Now let's rewind a bit. I think that if someone were to help Mystic take market earlier in the round, they'd be able to form a strong crossfire with the players in main and have a better chance. But then that play isn't perfect either because the spike isn't planted for him. In Valorant, there's multiple ways to play out a round, but as long as everyone is on the same page, like Liquid were here, your odds of winning go up significantly despite being down 5-3. Though sometimes that just isn't enough. Liquid are on their first full buy, and their plan is to take mid control in their 1-4 default. Let Cypher's trapwires hold the wings, while the big guns stay together in mid, playing keep away from any aggressive shenanigans the defense might pull with their bonus loadouts. On low buys like this, it's good to get aggressive, as your team can combine their firepower together and overwhelm some of these rifles. But on a map like this, with so many narrow corridors for the defense to get through, how are Sentinels going to get aggressive?
Already has as many kills as he did on Haven, so that's a plus.
Yes, that is true. Now, a good seize and a paranoia that keeps him locked up for a second to go for the fast push onto Tiles. Ooh, trying to get the swing back on the paint shows, but damage already done.
That's how. With the way mid is laid out, Raze is able to start top mid and beat the defense out and into Tiles before getting punished. And with the amount of support he got to sweep up this mess, I'm surprised Zekin didn't get Breach. Omen paranoid this lane, Breach covered anyone leaking out, Fade seized so no one could escape, and then lobbed her haunt through the window. Also, I think Zelsis aftershocked and flashed this corner, but I don't really know. But in case you haven't realized, Zekin managed to take down Liquid's smokes. Yeah, they traded one player apiece, but a duelist for a controller, Liquid got fleeced. Now, because Sentinel started 3 on A, but no one ever pushed out, the offense are headed that way because they feel like that there's only one defender left holding these two lanes. And they'd be right, but it's TenZ. TenZ gets his, smokes the gap, and forces Team Liquid to use their boombot to safely progress. TenZ backs up, and Zelsis comes back in case Liquid try to advance up A, and readies a flash to pop off TenZ's contact.
Sentinels trying to set up a bit of a trap play off of this smoke that TenZ set up.
They have to creep up, but they're going to give him that angle. Nats just peeking right on cue into the crosshairs. TenZ still finds vision of one as well. Zelsis still watching the other side, and TenZ holding elbow strong. He's on for 4, and he won't clean it up.
This motherfucker don't miss.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg. TenZ doesn't miss, but the only reason why he got these last two is because Zelsis stunned from spawn, stopping Kaiko from chasing him down with his double satchels.
Wow, Teets, I didn't know that. Good catch. I think I'll subscribe.
Liquid take an early timeout to talk things over. Wow, guys, have you ever looked at the scenery around this map? Sunset really is stunning. Get it? Stunning. After losing their first full buy, Liquid managed to thrifty Sentinels behind some dirty shots.
And that is Keiko staying alive with the showstopper, and he gets the trade as well.
Now, they were nice, but do you think the Marshal needs a nerf?
Yampi, did he see him? No, the head scene. There's the Marshal, there's the counter shot. Oh my God, Yampi!
Wow. You tell me down in the comments. Regardless, this round we're seeing a bloodbath, with both teams fighting for A main, and Liquid's 1-4 default, and Sentinel's alternative 2-3 setup. Now, the reason why A main is so important on this map is because by placing one defender on either of these two lines, their teammates can go stack other parts of the map until this player gets pressured. And if you're the offense, you want to break up this sightline so that the defense is forced to commit more than one person here. This then opens up way more options for your team around the map. I'm telling you, A main is a power position. But the offense aren't moving despite having the extra player. Sentinels make the first move by prowling the immediate area, and it doesn't tag anyone. Because Kaiko and Mystic are up on this phone booth, this dog doesn't latch onto them. So Sassy thinks it's clear. Should I throw my haunt? Nah, why waste it? Mr. Prowler said no one's there.
Keep it at my hip. Lands it on the dome. And that's going to be Team Liquid with finally a point on the board. Saucy, he is caught. The seize comes through, but he is so weak. There's the aftershock. Oh, what? The backup from Second on the crossfire. Second goes for 2. He goes for 3.
That was a lot of noise from both breaches. So So let's break it down. At the start of the round, Liquid noticed that
Fate is one for all. I'm going to trap this orb. Get ready to fight.
So Yampy moved into tiles to line up his fault line once his Cypher cleared mid with his cam. And once the Prowler didn't tag anyone outside, Zekin and Zelsis left, and Sassy felt like it was safe to grab the orb. But as soon as he tapped it, he got stunned. Kaiko chased him down. Enzo reconned, but Sassy sees bought Zelsis just enough time to come back, charge his fault line, stun, which bought Zekin enough time to swing, alleviate some of this pressure, and then Zelsis flashed, allowing Zekin to go for more. Man, Sentinels bought a lot of time. But these two breaches went blow for blow, both buying openings for their teams. And once the dust settled, it was Sentinels who came out on top. Liquid are swapping up their game plan after realizing that
Sentinels keep planning one person A and are stacking elsewhere. Let's punish them fast and hard this round.
And that previously failed trap backs up this read. Sassy was being left alone to hold all of A. Plus, that's just the Sunset meta. But by suddenly increasing the tempo this round, they should be able to bust through this 3-person stranglehold that the defense has had on A. Liquid slingshots out of the buy phase behind an instant satchel, stun, and recon for elbow. And Sentinels hit back with a stun of their own plus a Prowler.
Now you've got an Operator for Zekin. You've got a bunch of ults for Sentinels. This is Scary Town.
Alright, the push in.
Sentinels smokes go down. But was this a good fight to take? Of course it was. It's TenZ. He's the best in the world. What the? Get back in the comment section. How did you get up here? Yeah, this was a good fight to take. I mean, I think it's safe to gamble that Kaiko got hit by this stun, and if you look closely, you'll see that Zelsis flashed for TenZ. So when you hear flashing, you're probably going to swing. Team Liquid have won the battle for A-main this time, but Sentinels have given up the war. After losing all this space, they've immediately decided that
We have both our ultimates, Fade. Let's leave. It's too late for him.
both players double back to mid, go for a high-low double swing, looking to even the player advantage. But no one's here. B's quiet, mid's empty, so the only thing these two can do is mosey on back over to A. But while they're moseying, Liquid have come up with a plan of their own. Because Sentinels have enough ults to create a second crater in this map, Liquid want to sell a fake on A, knowing that Sentinels will be playing in spawn, ready to play retake. Since they're playing like this, they're more likely to leave the opposite site earlier in order to get in a position to flood the site. But by doing this, they're going to allow Liquid to gain much more map control. And all of a sudden, Sentinels' ults won't be able to get much value since they don't know where Liquid's spread out to. So while Breach and Omen move back towards A, they smoke a Link, drone, lob their nade, boombot, Enzo darts, but there's one person missing, Breach. Now, if you're playing against a Breach and you want to know whether or not the enemy team is selling a fake, ask yourself, have we seen Breach? In this situation, Sentinels didn't see or hear any Breach utility. Without him, the offense's hits are going to suck as nothing can set up Raze or scale with Sova's utility. So if you don't see him, that means they're probably not going that way. Now, while there's no hard rules in Valorant, this is what I live by. If you see Breach, that's where the hit is going. And Sentinels didn't see him. Back on B, Omen is smoke market, ulted backside to clear the air, and once John QT spots all of this on his cam, the gig is up. But Kaiko hears all them leaving, and so does Nats.
Safely into the site from the shadows, gives to Q, and the timing here from
30 seconds
Keiko
left.
shuts down Zekin. That's Showstopper gone, Operator down as well. Celsius still staying alive with the Rolling Thunder, but Nats, he's being a menace, buying so much time for his team. Another Cyber Cage as well.
Nats couldn't get his, but by staying alive, he's creating enough pressure so that Sentinels won't feel comfortable using their ults. If he can stay alive, the spike is planted for him. He can win this round.
You're going to have to rely on the Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder. Zelsis does
yep.
get Yampy.
Yampy can't get it, and there's the deep Rolling Thunder, but nobody gets hit. It's going to be the Shadow Step to make sure he can get the angle. There's Thunder's Fury to keep them off. If a ping comes out, Mystic would swing on it, but he doesn't find a target just yet. Mystic finding one, can't get the kill, and John QT swings on it right away. Once again, the teamwork for Sentinels coming out on top, but they do not have time. So despite the man advantage, Sentinels will have to give up another round.
Both teams are brawling for A-main again. Sentinels have 3 here, but Liquid have 4. 3, 2, 1, fight! Liquid recon, flash, and boombot. And this is like the 18th different arrow we've seen from Enzo, by the way, forcing Sassy to back off. But Sentinels cancel all of that out with a fault line of their own. Even though both teams have traded out bits of utility, the defense don't feel comfortable fighting for this space because of this one way and how far Sassy had to drop. Now Liquid wants Sentinels to worry about this space. They force the issue further by droning through elbow. But Zekken isn't backing down, or giving up that easily.
Never back down, never what?
Flash trying to buy more time. The haunt as
Oh,
well.
the showstopper! It's good for 3! Lands on the entire crowd.
Alright, Snoop Dogg, based off the round I broke down earlier, what do you think gave Zekken this much confidence to make a play like that?
That would have to be the Master Kush.
What the? No. Look closely. Right before he whips out a showstopper, Breach flashes not once, but twice as Sassy is throwing his haunt, meaning that the offense is either distracted or legally blind, while a rocket launcher charges at them. It's just a lot at once. And in case Zekken couldn't get out after, they seized and aftershocked shortly after. This sequence right here demonstrates the power of having a good Breach. But now that he's out of juice, it's his turn.
Trying to deny the spike, and Mystic can't get too far away from it, and that's a quick round from Sentinels.
After getting blasted time and time again on A, Liquid are shifting their focus to mid in their 1-1-3 default. But Sentinels have the read, ready to meet the attackers halfway in their 1-3-1 setup. Despite the numbers, both teams start slow. The offense smokes top mid, and Sassy prowlers through A. Now a few seconds later, Enzo rips a dart into elbow to make it look like their previous defaults. But Sentinels aren't biting. They've committed to their mid hold, with TenZ holding tiles and Zekken slotted behind, whatever this is. Does it have a name? Let's call it Grave. But once the attackers have contacted up, they smoke market, deploy their boombot, and Sentinels aren't feeling comfortable anymore. They scatter, conceding mid to Liquid. But the offense isn't done yet. If you want a default mid on Sunset, taking this space just isn't good enough. To manipulate rotates, you need to poke and prod into market and top mid. Once you take these two areas of the map and start making a commotion, that's when the defense needs to care, as you can leak into vital parts of the map and ruin them. But if you just take Grave, who cares? So Liquid stack up on market, and Enzo lets his drone free.
Sentinels, I mean, look at their positioning, right? That A site ready for the retake from the Nightfall as well. Much more focus here on market. Trade of positions, but Keiko's ready for that angle.
Kaiko has caught the smallest timing on TenZ's smoke right as it bloomed. And for the next 20 seconds, the offense does nothing. I mean, they have the player advantage, and if Sentinels don't want to get run over, the defense has to come to them. If they don't, mathematically they lose. So Breach comes up with a plan.
TenZ, Saucy, come here. I want you to hunt to see if they're still in mid. If they are, I'll stun deep to prevent the swing, and then let's combo our flashes to find a kill.
Yeah, I'm down.
Let's do this.
Somebody to have tried to push forward. The haunt's going to give them a little bit more information for the Sentinels that people are still hanging around. They're going to try to make a play off this.
And there's the swing out on the paranoia.
This blend of utility has gifted TenZ the equalizer Sentinels needed, and Nats thought he could use that noise as a distraction to push into B, but John QT punishes. And now TenZ has used his ult to reposition into this now clear space, forming a disgusting crossfire.
Meanwhile, John Cutie gets the kill as well. So
angle.
now it's a double angle. There's a spy cam through the one-way. Yampi swings out, but they have no idea where the Cypher is. Only 15 seconds left. The Cyber Cage just to draw out more time. John Cutie playing around it, draws Yampi into the aftershock. Nightfall, Enzo has to back away for it, but he has to stick the plant. 5 seconds, he just has to hold on to it. No option there. He gets one kill, but Saucy will run away. And that's an 8-point win here.
Now, I don't know if TenZ was repositioning, but I think he was actually scouting for information as he was already safe before he ulted. Because Nats died, he realized this space was free and stuck it. But I think Nats heard him at the last second and told his teammates that TenZ was there. In the end, it was John QT's quick decision-making and Zels's long-range aftershock that got the trade and ultimately secured the round. Liquid take another timeout to recover from this beatdown. In that timeout, Sentinels discuss that Liquid have their Rolling Thunder online and are assuming that they're planning around it. So their setup is positioned to counter. On B, they have a trapwire for spawn and market with a camera pointed this way so that if Liquid take B, Sentinels can start by retaking market and go from there. Now on A, Breach, Fade, and Raze are going to apply pressure, set Fade up to hold this line so they can stack mid. But as soon as she gets pushed back, she's out, ready to play the retake. And Liquid's plan is to...
Want me to use my ult?
Sure. But they start by defaulting mid first behind a top mid smoke and a recon. None of this gets contested, so the offense move up. Kaiko takes shots in a market, activating Cypher's one way. And, that's it. Liquid retreat back through tiles? Like I mentioned last round, the defense isn't going to care if you've taken this big square. You need to get in their guts and actually make them nervous. I mean, they didn't even snap Cypher's trip. With their noodle-armed default, the attackers scurry back to A, where Fade is now posted solo. It's been a long while, so she sends out a Prowler, but as soon as it hits their trip, the attackers scale forward behind a drone. Saucy drops back to spot elbow, TenZ turns around from on top of his perch, and Liquid continue to tiptoe forward. But now that the offense have cut noise again, Sentinels need info, so Saucy haunts. It gets broken, and at this point, the defense know that an A-hit is coming.
Trained onto elbow, and the other side with the one-way. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Zekin just chooses to stay alive. Wants to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard off the box. Saucy wouldn't get caught out in the open, though. So that, Zekin with a nice spray down gets the...
Zekin single-handedly saved this round for Sentinels. By hugging the wall as tight as possible, Zekin was able to negate the knockback of the Rolling Thunder. But why was he up there? Well, from this vantage point, he can see over any smokes the attackers might throw for spawn, so he can get one and get out safe. But it just so happened that they one-wayed the boxes instead, and I'm assuming Saucy pinged where Liquid was planning, allowing him to get a free spam kill. This one-way actually hurt Liquid more than it helped. And because the plant's been delayed, Zellsis is able to rotate just in time to almost delay the plant. But now that all of Sentinels are here, they begin their retake.
Meanwhile, hiding right there, ready to trade with Keiko. Here comes the paranoia from TenZ. He's trying to jump forward. Zekin gets one onto the side. Keiko swings around, gets one, and there's the trade from Nats. Now, finally, some teamwork on these skirmishes from Team Liquid on this round. Still a 2v2, rifles on both sides, but Nats just with the Guardian. The fake. No one fighting just yet. There's the drop. It's a 2v1. John QT. No, it will be Nats coming out on top.
Down, Raze. Down. I can't hold on to release.
Has a stinger in hand, and they are not slowing down. They want to use this to maximum effect. They want to get this eco round, and Zekin's going to get it.
Dear Lord, that was fast. In just 4 seconds, Raze made it all the way from bot mid, all the way into market. And no, Raze doesn't have a death wish, but she was set up perfectly by, you guessed it, breach. At the start of the round, Zellsis aftershocked this right side and fault lined the left, which would cover all the bases. You either get blasted, stunned, or pushed into stinger range right in front of Zekin. As a matter of fact, Sentinels banked on him going so fast that they didn't even smoke top mid, but immediately went for Boba. Ow! That stings. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention the stinger. As of late, a lot of teams have been forcing one singular stinger after they lose pistol. This SMG, despite being nerfed multiple times, is still a laser beam. And it's great for forcing on attack, as your team can naturally group up and steamroll any defenders, since naturally they're going to be spread out. So one stinger can be enough to turn the tide. Just like how all of Sentinels dumped everything they had in the market and B main to force Cypher to make a tough decision quickly. Either fight through classics, or one stinger. Now with sight wide open, things can't possibly get worse for Liquid, right? They're scrambling over to rotate, and John QT finds a lurk. This entire time, he used Zekin as a distraction, hoping that the defense would think mid is clear after seeing this lightning bolt zap into market. Man, this eco shard is like an onion. It just has so many layers. But Sentinels aren't looking too hot either. Zekin is low, and 2 of them still have pistols. They elect to regroup in A main to play for spam.
Trying to get a little bit deeper into this post plant, shuffling the guns around, making sure everybody's got what they want.
And Zekin's like, dude, I'm so low, I don't need this weapon.
Yeah,
man.
you guys take it.
I'm just here for bait. And that he will be as he's forced out. But TenZ goes for the aggressive teleport, and they don't read it. They have a suspicion, but they have to let go of the defuse. And it's doing the job of buying time. Sentinels, they don't mind if they drop some weapons as they're able to continue to spray down. Enzo all alone, no time. He has to at least find the kills, and he's not going to. Sentinels lead 10-4.
If Zellsis is able to rack up this many assists with Breach's standard kit, just imagine what he's going to do with his Rolling Thunder. He's got his Rolling Thunder. Closing in on match point, Sentinels have come up with a master plan to help boost them there. They're slamming A. But how well is that plan going to work when Yampy hits back just as hard? The offense starts quick behind a spy cam that spots Sova. Breach tries to catch him with a fault line, while Fade and Raze Prowler and Boombot to elbow. Oh, wait a second. TenZ, where are you going?
Oh my
Once
god.
again, TenZ, are you okay? I mean, he thought about sticking it if he wasn't found. but that does call for the Rolling Thunder. Kept them tied up on the site. Keiko can't find his vision as he's flashed out. There's the counter Rolling Thunder, but Yampi, he is all alone. John QT already deep, and Yampi loses that duel as well.
And that's another breach diff. And kind of Omen diff too. Because his team wanted to hit A, TenZ used his ult to get behind enemy lines, which forced Yampi to fall back, preventing him from fighting with his team. TenZ delayed Liquid's ult just long enough for his team to flush out Sight and Elbow. Now, not only did he pull away Liquid's strongest fighting force, but he also teleported past Yampi's ult, allowing him to swing perfectly fine and take him by surprise. But it was all game where we saw Breach shine brightest. And if you think Breach is meta on Sunset after watching this, you really need to check him out on Ascent. He might be just as good.